The Colorado Buffaloes and the Denver Broncos have one of the same problem. We'll dive into it. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for September 11th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
Much like the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Buffaloes run game has struggled through 2 weeks this season, and entering the Rocky Mountain Showdown, head coach Deion Sanders shared some tough news on that front. The Buffs will be out without running back Dallin Hayden for Sunday's rivalry contest against the Rams. 5'10" transfer from Ohio State is CU's leading rusher thus far this season with 52 yards on 14 carries. Hayden's stats may not have been great, but he's been pretty much the only positive in Colorado's lousy running game thus far. The team as a whole has just 75 yards on the ground on 45 carries. Yeah, you heard me say that correct. 75 yards on the ground, 45 carries. It's not looking good. It's the third fewest yards in the country, and both teams below the Buffs have only played once in 2024 as well. So also on the other side of things with the green and gold, the Colorado State Rams, they will be without Troy Holton, who is questionable with a groin injury, and tight end Jackson Warren, who is out with a shoulder injury. And then, of course, on the Buff side of things, the name that a lot of people are very familiar with, that's Shiloh Sanders. He's out with a broken forearm. Coach Prime had tweeted out earlier this week that he had gotten surgery, and we will hopefully see him out on the field very soon, at least at some point during this season. But injury updates for the Rocky Mountain Showdown. It's at 5:30 on Saturday. I cannot wait. I will be actually on the sidelines doing radios for the show. Come hang out with us. 104.3 The Fan. We'll have everything live streaming for you. So super pumped to be on the sidelines for this game. But yeah, some injury updates ahead of it. Not good for the Buffs fans if you're looking to get a win up in Fort Collins. Now, the Denver Broncos, they accomplished something that was a first in NFL history, which is the first of 3 numbers worth examining from Sunday. You can check out Andrew Mason's entire piece on all the rest of the numbers that you need to see. But of course, Mace being Mace, he always has something up his sleeve. And this one's a little interesting. So that 3-2-1, 3 field goals, 2 safeties, and 1 touchdown. In NFL history, they've never had a team had that exact combination of scores until Sunday, with a pair of safeties in the second quarter, which made the Denver the first team to have 2 safeties in 1 quarter since 2011. Andrew Mason did a wonderful job, like I mentioned, at denversports.com, going over a bunch of different numbers that you need to know about. So definitely go check out the piece. Mace always has something, like I mentioned again, up his sleeve. There's always just something that he's able to find. That's why we're so lucky to have him part of our team. He does such a great job. He does a great job on Orange and Blue today as well. So if you have not checked out that show, make sure you do so. But yeah, Mace did an excellent job. 3-2-1, 3 field goals, 2 safeties, and 1 touchdown. Never before seen in the NFL. We'll move over to this week's opponent, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Justin Fields got a win in his first start as a Steeler, and it sounds like he will get the next chance in week 2. Head coach Mike Tomlin told reporters on Tuesday that Russell Wilson was still dealing with a calf injury and said the team was, quote unquote, preparing as if Justin is going to be our quarterback. Fields threw for 156 yards and ran for another 57 in the 18-10 win over the Falcons in week 1. Did anybody else notice that it seemed like we had a lot of really, really low scoring games, and then the other ones were all like ridiculous scores? I noticed that as I was going through some of the scorecards on Monday, but I was like, there were a lot of super low scoring games. And of course, the 18-10 win right over the Falcons from the Steelers is just another example of that. Also, I saw that the Jets game versus the 49ers was a scoregami. If you don't know what a scoregami is, essentially, it's just a score that's never happened before in the NFL. So that game on Monday night was a scoregami. But back to the Steelers, both Wilson and Fields were obviously acquired in the offseason. Russell Wilson technically won the job, and then Justin Fields now taking over as Russell Wilson dealing with that calf injury. James Palmer and I actually had a really good conversation on this yesterday on Coffee Break. If you do not watch it, you can go back on our YouTube channel and check it out. But essentially talking about how if you're the Broncos, you 100% would rather face Russell Wilson than you would Justin Fields. One, because you know all of Russell's weaknesses. You had him as your starting QB last year. So Justin Fields sounds like he's going to be the guy. Now, can he come into the Mile High City and get a win, or can the Broncos defense pop off like they did in the first half with the Seahawks and help this Broncos offense out a little bit? So week 2, Steelers versus Broncos. We got that on Sunday here in the Mile High City. Let's go, baby. All right. We will now move on to the White House, because The South Carolina women's basketball team visited the White House on Tuesday as President Biden honored their undefeated season and their 2024 NCAA tournament win. Biden praised the Gamecocks for helping raise interest in women's sports, which they have totally done. So many people tuned into that final game. It was so much fun to see. And he goes on to say, when young girls see their idols, they see power of your example. South Carolina finished the season 38-0 and won the title in front of a record 24 million TV viewers. But that weren't the only people that were at the White House. The NCAA men's basketball champion, the UConn Huskies, were also at the White House on Tuesday. So it sounds like it was a bit of a double parade around the White House. Biden praised the Huskies for their second straight title and sixth in 25 years, declaring there's no doubt at all about who are the blue bloods of basketball. Head coach Dan Hurley joked, quote unquote, I thought this would be easier in year 2. I've been to the White House before, but this is scary as sheesh. I won't fill out that word, but you know what I'm going to say. So yeah, definitely fun for them to head out to the White House. I was surprised they did it all in like one day, but I guess you got to get it done when you get it done. So again, congratulations. March Madness is my favorite time of the year. Even though I'm a football girly through and through, there's still nothing better than March Madness. So congratulations again to the South Carolina team, as well as the UConn Huskies over there on winning their stuff. Basketball feels like it has been out for a lifetime, so I'm so ready for it to get rolling again here. Same thing with hockey, too, because Nathan McKinnon's trophies will be available for Colorado Avalanche fans to take pictures with during the home opener against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is really cool. I'm not even going to lie to you. The opportunity to take a picture with the Hart Trophy, knowing that Nathan McKinnon has that, is absolutely insane. So the Avs announced on Tuesday that both the Hart Trophy and the Ted Lindsay Award will be on display on the Ball Arena concourse. That contest is on October 12th, which is literally less than a month out, or I guess a little over a month. One more day starting tomorrow, which is crazy that it's going to be back. So Colorado opens the 2024-2025 regular season in Vegas on October 9th, but then that's going to be the first home game against the Blue Jackets. The Avalanche will also celebrate McKinnon during that night for his unbelievable accomplishments last year. He won the Hart Trophy, given to the NHL's MVP for the first time in his career, which a lot of people were hoping would happen. Of course, he's named it. Everybody's so pumped for him. And he also took home the Ted Lindsay Award, which is given annually to the most outstanding player in the league as voted by fellow members of the NHL Player Associations. Both the media and the players in the league thought that he was, in fact, the best player in the league during the 2023-2024 season. So McKinnon, huge year, shattering personal records. It felt like we were talking about him left and right. How could we forget his 35-game streak with a point at home? He finished with 140 points, the most in his career by the age of 29, which is crazy. And then recording 111. That was happening in the 2022-2023 season. So he's only gotten better. Nate Dogg, he's been so fun to watch. We've loved being able to cheer him on here in the Mile High City. Now, can he bring another Stanley Cup back to the Mile High City? He's got to do that. He's also got to probably score more than 50 goals. Like he did last year, essentially. He finished with 51 total. He had 89 assists, which were by far the most he's ever had in his career. So he just continues to improve and improve and improve time and time again. But to be able to bring another cup back, we're going to have to see those numbers. But the games and the season has to start first. So first home game, Blue Jackets, you can go take a picture with the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, which again is just a really cool opportunity. Get your tickets early. It probably will start to sell out relatively soon. So get your tickets early, go out, support the Avs in their home opener against the Blue Jackets, and take those pictures while you're there. I'm so jealous. I wish I could go. I will not be there, unfortunately. I will be on my honeymoon, but I still think it would be so cool to go take those pictures. So do it for me if you want, Avs fans. Please just go take a picture for me and tweet it at me while I am gone. Now we'll move over to the NBA because they're tweaking some instant replay rules for the upcoming season. The new rule will expand the scope of the coach's challenge on an out-of-bounds violation, allowing officials to look at whether a foul was committed. So previously, any foul committed was considered outside the scope of the challenge, which is a little pathetic. I'm not going to lie. With all the technology that we have nowadays, the fact that it's come to 2024 for us to be able to take a look at this stuff is a bit ridiculous. But the rule came under scrutiny after a controversial play in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals when the Mavericks' Kyrie Irving fouled the Timberwolves' Jaden McDaniels, but the foul went uncalled on the replay. So they're adding that in this year, which I love this idea. I think that we always see stuff after the final whistle or after any of the whistles are blown. And it's like, yeah, even if it was out of bounds, it can still count as a foul. So definitely here for this move by the NBA, and I'm glad we're finally seeing it as well. Now, of course, today is 9/11, so we want to honor the memory of those lost on 9/11 as we reflect on that tragic day. We stand united in our commitment to protect the nation, and we remember the heroes who responded and the resilience of our communities, and together we are stronger. Hashtag never forget. So yes, we never forget this day on 9/11 to all of those impacted by it. Such a day that brings our communities together. We can just be totally real about that. So again, we just honor the memory of those lost on 9/11. Let's get to some comments now. I see it's a bit of a slow morning, you guys. I'm surprised. There wasn't a ton of news coming out this morning. I feel like a lot of stuff is just, random players getting some extra money here and there. I feel like it's starting to ramp up a little bit more for the Avs and for the Nuggets. So NBA and NHL, we're starting to hear a little bit more news, but again, unless you are a diehard fan of any of those sports, I feel like you don't really know any of those names. So hopefully we get a little bit more going. But let's get into some comments. Happy Wednesday to the amazing Rachel. First of all, thank you so much. I'm back home again. I actually woke up feeling a bit underneath the weather as well, and I'm trying to get my 10 observations. I've been rewatching the Broncos game, trying to just dive into a few things, about what you guys can pay attention to and where things actually went wrong for the Broncos against the Seahawks. So I've been diving into that. We're going to talk about that today on Coffee Break. So I'm excited. My 10 observations, I'm hoping to do that every single week for you guys. So we start to notice some patterns with different players and what we can expect out of them. So come hang out with me, please. And thank you at 12 p.m. Now, let's see. Why would the Broncos bring in more recycled receivers to look at? Just demand better from the players you kept. Okay, so yes, nothing official has come out of this, but the Broncos did bring in some other wide receivers essentially to test them out and see what would be happening, but they must not like what they're seeing out of it. And that's a little scary for the guys that are on the 53-man roster, but it's very, very clear. And this is one of my observations. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tease here. There are some players that obviously are connecting with Bo Nix, and those are the guys. And there are also some players who are not connecting at all with Bo Nix, but you have to have more guys who can support him around. It's a rookie quarterback. You have to do this. So we'll dive into a few of those names that there is clear connection with and some that there are not connections with. We'll dive into that a little bit and get into why the Broncos are bringing in those recycled receivers, as you like to say, on Coffee Break. So come hang out with me. Okay, last question. We better have answers for Watt, TJ Watt. Isn't it crazy that we would never in a million years have ever thought that anybody would be better than JJ Watt? It was like, nope, he's the best that we're ever going to see. He's phenomenal. He's so much fun to watch, etc., etc. TJ Watt might in fact be better. We actually talked about it on Coffee Break yesterday. He was a beast. And I mean a beast against the Falcons, which should make you nervous if you are a Broncos fan, because what are they going to do? They're going to bring all the pressure towards Bo Nix. Now, Bo actually handled the pressure relatively well. I'm not going to lie. I don't think that the offensive line helped him one bit. I don't think any of the coverage did. But Bo Nix handled the pressure well. He utilized his legs, but he cannot throw off of his back foot. That has to stop. You have to be able to nix that immediately, and he's just got to be able to handle the pocket collapsing on him. Like a lot of the greats did. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, give it 1-2 more seconds. Yes, it's going to be tight and confined, but hopefully you are able to get those throws in for Bo Nix. So yeah, they will have to have answers for Watt and the entire Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They are definitely going to be in trouble, and they're going to bring the pressure when it comes to Bo. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to hope that the crowd gives another extra leg up for this Denver Broncos team on Sunday. I can't wait to be out there. It's finally here, regular season game at Mile High, so I'm going to be pumped. But yeah, that's going to do it, you guys. So I appreciate you all so much for hanging with us on this Wednesday. I cannot believe it's Wednesday. That's crazy to even say. This weekend's going to be nuts. Like I said, we got 2 more days. I'm going to be out at practice today also for the Broncos. So we got practice Thursday. There's also practice Friday. There's practice Saturday. We got the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Sunday, we've got, fortunately, Justin Fields versus the Denver Broncos and not Russell Wilson against the Denver Broncos. And then we're back on Monday. So plenty of good stuff. Keep you tuned here to denversports.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe as well. Comment down below. If you are watching us on YouTube, let's do another fun game. I always love doing this, and I like seeing who does it. Go comment down below recycled, and we'll see if everybody gets the joke. So please do that. Comment recycled if you are watching us on YouTube. I will try to respond back to everybody. And then, yeah, we will get into it today at 12 p.m. My observations from the Seahawks game and looking ahead to the Steelers. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you later.